Hey everyone, Prof Sales
and Karin
saying happy Friday.
TGIF.
I know, right? It is Friday, January 13th, 2017, and the big show is live.
Dun dun dun.
I don't know if it's going to have volume or not. So
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, unlucky day, right? I know.
It's a lucky day.
But this is our lucky day, right? Because we are here with our friends on the channel. And it's going to be a good day. And the temperature is 70 degrees in here in Charlotte, so we're pretty happy about that.
It's warm.
I wish it could be like this all the time.
It's very warm.
Bring on global warming.
Isn't that already happening?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's already happening. Who knows? But anyway, we are here and we're live, so we got a lot to talk about. Start the weekend. Hope you guys are doing well. If you haven't noticed, we've had a few shows this week.
I think I've been on. This is my first time this week, so you can't blame me.
No. I can't blame you. But
Energizer Bunny.
I was just going to say, we have had several shows this week. Tremendous content. Lots of new people on the channel. Lots of new people to the community. And a lot of great content over the last few weeks or the last few days. So check that out if you've got a chance. If you get a chance, tons to learn from Luke. And from Lauren, from Lorenzo, from Tino, from Rakin. We're all on the show. We're all on the channel this week. And I'm tired.
It's been a big week.
This is the last show for at least 3 days, probably, till Monday. So.
At least an hour. And then he'll be doing another show.
Yeah, we'll be doing our 4 o'clock recap. But no, in all seriousness. But anyway, yeah, it's been fun. And next week, we will have some shows coming up. We'll do another Connect show on Thursday. Do not have the guest set for that yet, so we'll see how that goes. A few things in the air about that. But we also have Tiffany and James coming on Monday night. And if you guys don't remember, they were our
first
resellers we met outside of YouTube, and they run a consignment store that also has an eBay store attached to it with over 4,000 listings. So a big store.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to come on and talk to you about how to run a business, how to blow your store up, how to manage consignment if that's something you're interested in. I mean, they have all that information. So they're going to come on Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. I believe it's 8 o'clock. And we're pretty excited about that. And they're also our thrifting buddies because we go with them every once in a while to the bins. So anyway,
I'm just catching up.
Yeah, catching up. Who's in the room, Karin?
Oh, who's not in the room? My hero Kelly is in the room because she's just knocking it out of the park every day.
Who else is
Supermom? Lauren, Henry, Zerk, Big Bois Hustle. I just wanted to say Bois. Renee, Gigi. We don't usually do this. Marianne, Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing? I was just thinking about you. Last night. Maybe Illinois Picker, Craft Bus, cool. Who did I leave out? Better Barbie. And that's just about everybody.
I think you got everybody.
And Nashay.
So if we mispronounce your name, sorry. But we try to get it right as best we can.
We're happy that everybody's here.
Yeah, so 36 viewers already, so that's great. Tremendous turnout already here in the middle of the afternoon. All right, so Karin, do you want to talk about that next or no? That
on our agenda, our call sheet, this third line item?
The third bullet, yes.
Okay, so if you were around, I don't know, it's been probably a week or two, we kind of brought up the idea of starting a Facebook group. Facebook group? Jeans with the fur, whatever. A face group. We're going to start this face group, and all you need is a face to participate.
Most of you are qualified.
There you go. So we had this idea, wacky, original idea to start a Facebook group. And we were kind of kicking it around and just being cheeky as usual. And anyway, Rebels of Reselling was born. And we are happy to say, did we make it go live yet?
Or it has a nickname.
Roar. But anyway, we didn't make it go live, though. We were supposed to do that before the show started.
We will afterwards.
All right, so after the show,
we'll put a link.
We'll put a link. Oh, we'll put a link on the video. Cool idea. We'll put a link on the video, and you can join Rebels of Reselling. We're so excited. Is that good?
That was good.
So if you want a sort of out of the box, different experience, what it is it's a place for resellers to share ideas, give support, et cetera, et cetera. It's not a place to gripe about, you know,
scammers and so on.
Taxes, who's going to be the president, any of that stuff. It's just, we wanted to continue this whole positivity thing outside of YouTube and interact with people more one-on-one and on a more regular basis. And so we decided to make this face page
and
a reality.
You're all invited.
Yeah.
Just you, no one else.
Yeah, just you.
Just the 37 of you.
But, you know, if you have suggestions for it, or we're open to that. I think right now it's not, we don't have it public, or when we do, as soon as we're done with this video, we're going to open it up.
We're going to open it up.
And it's not going to be like totally public. You have to like send a request, right?
Yeah.
That's how we're going to do it.
I think so. Right.
And then it's just right now, it's just a matter of Jason and I hitting okay. And that's that. And we're really excited about it because it's going to be a cool opportunity for us to get together. Oh, wait, that's kind of like 24/7, isn't it?
Kind of.
You know how I feel about that.
It's great.
It's awesome. But anyway, it's going to be a chance for us to get together offline, online, and share ideas there. Right. I'm obviously just over the moon about it. I think it's going to be a neat thing. Yes. I hope so anyway.
You designed it. You developed it.
Well, I mean, there was that whole
of it.
Facebook idea that, you know,
well, Zuckerberg, but whatever.
Whatever.
I mean, you know, he had an idea, but you were taking it to another level.
I did.
Okay, so.
Like when you log into it, like confetti shoots out of your monitor and stuff. Yeah.
Right. That will happen. If it doesn't, it's Zuckerberg, so blame him. But the group is going to be a positive influence in the community. We definitely want it to be about you guys making connections with each other. You know, a lot of the same things that you can do in other groups obviously will be part of it. However, I would prefer it not become just about hauls and, it should become more about like mindset. How do you figure out how to do things, where to look and so on. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's going to evolve.
Well, and a little show and tell is fine.
Sure. Absolutely.
We talked about that.
Of course.
But it's not, I think resellers probably get a little bogged down when other resellers post stuff that they want to sell.
Yeah. Like
resellers aren't really rebuyers necessarily,
right,
unless it's a better deal, and resellers typically aren't, you know what I'm saying? So show and tell, fine. And like Jason said, it'll evolve as we go. So we're open to whatever it will be.
Right.
And we're excited. I'm excited about it. You excited about it?
I'm excited about it. Yeah. It'll be fun. So and look for the link, guys. We'll publish the link after this video post and so on. But we just wanted to announce it in a video and kind of get it out there. And maybe we'll do a separate video. You can talk about it later if you want, like a little promo video.
Yeah, I think that would be grand. But it's called Rebels of Reselling, right?
Yep, Rebels of Reselling. But so should have taken it live beforehand. I knew there was something on our to-do list. It's been one of those days.
Well, it's not like there's anything on it. You're an admin. I'm an admin. Wouldn't you like to be an admin too? I mean,
you can all be admins. Just submit an application, and we'll get back to you in 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah. So the only thing on there right now is just the first post about what we are and what we aren't, and then it's going to go from there.
Yep.
And we have to sort of give it wings and have faith that it's going to evolve just as we did in
yes,
a good positive way.
Yes. So Rebels of Reselling. Can't wait. We are flying through these topics. We need to slow down. So if you guys have any questions too about some of the people we've maybe had on the channel in the last week, maybe something you missed, or you missed a live show, or you watched the video later and asked a question and we didn't get to it, or we'll do a best chance. I am actually in contact pretty regularly with the people we had on the channel this week, for the most part. And I've told them all to please check back on the channel, check back on their shows that they were on, and make sure that if there are any questions, they try to answer them best they can.
I'm sorry that I'm giggling like a little girl over here, but Camille said that everyone at Panera, because she forgot her headphones, gets to, what were her exact words? Getting schooled during her lunch today. Nice. And it reminded me when you did Rakin's show.
Hi, Panera Bread.
Woo woo. But that was bad.
I got it.
Thank you. So when you were doing the show with Steve, it was Senior Citizen Day at Goodwill, so I went with my non-senior citizen mother, just in case she's watching. Anyway, we were at the Goodwill, and the show came on, and I kid you not, I turned it on, and I was like one of those little old men with the transistor radio listening to the races, and I was watching your show. So me and Camille were just out there representing in the public.
So if you get Bluetooth earpieces, there you go. You'll solve that problem. You can hear it right and play it on your phone, and also hear a call if it comes in.
What fun is that, though?
I do it all the time with podcasts.
That's no fun.
That's a little prof hack.
That's no fun.
It's not like I came up with it, but I'll take credit for it.
So
anyway.
So there. Checked off that item on the list.
Check. All right. All right. So let's see what's next on our list here. We are going to talk about the Karin challenge.
Well, you can't start out the conversation like that. I thought you were going to talk about how we got there.
Yeah. So, all right. So here's some full disclosure about money goals, finance goals, I guess.
Life goals.
Life goals.
Mm.
All right. So I was reading a book the other day, and or maybe I was listening to a podcast, now that I think about it. And the author of the podcast said, one of the things you need to do before you can achieve a lot of your goals in life is come up with your number. And what he meant by that was that and he was talking about passive income, and he was saying, well, if you could come up with a number for how much money you need to make every month that you could generate passively through passive investments and so on, what would that number be? And that number would take into account every bill you have, any money that you want to invest, any money you want to save for a trip, for retirement, for kids' college education, whatever it is, or money that you just wanted to go have fun with. Maybe you want to, take a trip to Hawaii. Maybe you want to cruise around the world. I don't know, whatever it is. Come up with what number you would need. All right. And that's your goal. So let's say that, you figured out all those things and maybe it came out to be $5,000 a month. So now you know that you need to generate $5,000 a month to do the things you want to be able to do, because the point was through doing it through passive income, his point was that you don't have to go work as much for it. There's still some work with passive income, obviously on the front end, but it'll sit there and keep earning you money. And he's talking about primarily through real estate, but there's other means. And you can go do whatever it is you want to do because you've hit your number. You've hit your number. So Karin and I decided, I said, Karin, what's your number? And I explained the whole scenario to her. And she came up with a total. What was it? Do you remember what the total was?
10 million.
It was $10 million a month.
No, it really wasn't. Well, my first number was, what did I say? I said...
First you said 8.
I thought I said 10.
No, you said 8.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Because that would have been 2 a week.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I said $2,000 a week, so $8,000 a month.
And then what'd you settle on?
I brought it back to 6.
6. So $6,000 a month was Karin's. Now this is after taxes, right? So that was her number.
That's
where
my
she
net.
thought, if I could make that, through whatever means, I could go do whatever I need to do, pay whatever I need to pay, and invest, save, what have you, right?
Go to Yellowstone this summer.
Yeah, and that's a good amount of money. Like that's $72,000 a year. All right, so I don't know why, but here's the way my mind works. I said, all right. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, what would be fun here to do with this number? So I asked her, I said, what if Karin, you could make 10% of that money, 10% of that 6,000 in 30 days? Would you do it? And what did you say?
Heck yeah.
She didn't even hesitate.
Well, because it's the competitive nature in me. You know that.
Right. So I said, what if you can make $600, 10% of 6,000 in the next 30 days? And I said, what if there was a way to do that? And she said, heck yeah. That was her. And I said, all right, easy, right?
Right.
I said, all you got to do is sell maximum $1,800 on eBay. $1,800 gross. And the reason I said that is because kind of that 1/3 rule, like, a lot of us in the reselling community say, If you can buy something for $1 and sell it for $3, you're going to pay about $1 in fees and taxes and so on, then you're going to keep $1. So the same idea, if you could buy $600 worth of merchandise, source $600, you should be able to sell it for $1,800 minimum. Now, obviously, you can sell it for more than that in some cases. But we're just saying worst case scenario. And she took up the challenge.
Yes. Well, there are some caveats to it.
All right, say the caveats.
Well, for one, I haven't started selling anything on my own on eBay yet.
Correct.
So that's kind of a big one. So we expanded the rules to I could make money anyway as long as it was legal. But I have different options there. So as long as it's not eBay only,
Right.
then I don't see where it's going to be a problem, because where I'm at a little bit of an advantage already is that I haven't done the go through your stuff and sell all your stuff mode yet. So there are some things like I could minimize. Anyway, I could get rid of, declutter some stuff probably. And then I have some ideas for some other stuff, but.
So Karin has a goal of, from what, starting yesterday?
Oh yeah, I guess. That's not fair, but yeah.
Will you start today since we're announcing it?
I think that's fair, don't you?
She starts today. So by February 13th, roughly, a month from now, her goal is to sell $1,800 worth of items to generate $1,800 of revenue. Maybe on eBay, maybe on Amazon, maybe locally.
Well, is that gross or net?
Gross. It needs to be gross. You should net at least 600.
Okay.
So if you do that, if Karin does that, she will be 10% to her goal. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, that's not passive income. Right. But the point is that she can find a way to generate 10% of her number in a month with starting at zero. I mean, you're starting at zero. It's not like you already have an eBay store and Amazon. I mean, you're literally starting at the beginning.
And I still have to work for you.
She's still got to work for me. That's right. You still are working for the business. You're not working for me. I work for the business.
You know I said that on purpose, right? Because of our conversation the other day. Yeah.
It just never ends. It never ends here. So if any of you guys would like to play along at home.
Who's with me?
This might be a good post in Revels of Reselling, right?
Yes, it'll be a post.
Yes, and you can tag along and start your own 30-day challenge to generate 10% of your number. But that means you got to come up with your number, guys. You got to sit down and figure out, what is your number? What number would bring you financial, like you're meeting all your needs and you're meeting your wants, right? In a month. We'll just say in a month. What amount of money do you need to do that? Sit down, write it down. And by the way, guys, this is like powerful stuff to, generate a goal that you think, hey, if I hit this, I'm going to be at a higher level of happiness with my finances because I know I'm going to be in good shape because I figured it all out. It's not a big mystery anymore, because a lot of times we get involved in reselling, excuse me, or we get involved in a job and we say, I just want to make more money. But to what end? What's more money? What's a lot? What's a little? What's enough? If you don't really stop and think about it for a moment and make some concrete, calculations, you don't know what's a lot or not.
Yeah, I agree.
So some other people are saying they're going to be in.
Oh, who's in? Who's with me? We'll know who my friends are.
Well, who is it? Can you tell us who it is?
Let's see. No, I can't. Oh, Jen's in. Oh, Kelly. Yay, Kelly's in. Supermom.
I don't know if Lauren's in or not. I think she's in.
Chris is in. Yes. Lauren's in. Treasures from Texas is in.
Oh, man. We got lots of people in this challenge. This could be epic.
Yes.
So you got to make, guys, 10% of your number in the next 30 days. And honestly, guys, it's on your honor because only you know what your number is. But if you wouldn't mind sharing your number and we put this post in the group, that'd be cool. Yeah. You don't have to post what all your financial situation is, but you can say, look, this is my number. This is where I'm starting with. And you might eventually adjust your number. So looks like it'll be a lot of fun. Megan asked, what's the challenge? Briefly, Megan, Karin has set herself a goal to generate at least $600 net profit, which is 10% of her monthly number that she really wants to hit in the next 30 days. So she wants $6,000 a month would be a number that would really give her a lot of financial satisfaction and security. And so her goal is to hit 600 of that, clear 600 in the next 30 days. So getting 10% of the way. So Megan, and we're going to do this challenge on the new Facebook group that we're starting today as well, so you can join in. And more about that as we go. What if I started already? Great.
That's awesome.
That's great.
I mean, it's January. We're good.
Yeah, it's a good time for resolutions, right? Any day is a good time for resolutions. There's no such things as resolutions. They're just doing it. Shannon wants to make enough to go to Disney. That's a great goal.
We're going to go to Yellowstone. That's my favorite place on the planet. And you've never been.
I've never been to Yellowstone.
And we actually already had it in place as a goal, but this will help get us there.
I've heard it's a volcano.
It is, and so much more.
But what if the volcano blows?
Well, it won't matter at that point, I don't think.
It really won't. It's over.
But it's a really cool place. So, and we're going to love it. And so goals are good.
Yes. And by the way, guys, 72 people watching. Man, that's awesome.
It is awesome.
What do you think they should do if they're liking the content they're hearing, Karin? What would you suggest that those 72 people watching should do?
I think they should follow my channel. Oh, if Tina was on, that was for you, babe. No, you should smash the like button. Just smash it.
Smash the like button.
I've been wanting to say that like for days now, ever since it happened the first time. Aren't my jokes funny?
Yes, they're very funny.
Inside reseller jokes.
Yep. She's got jokes for days.
Jokes for days.
Okay. All right. So lots of people are gonna jump into this goal, and that's pretty exciting. So we'll kind of keep our progress updated with that too as we go, and it should be a lot of fun.
Do you want graphs, Mr. Sadie?
Sadie asked about graphs. I don't think there'll be graphs.
I'm a non-graph kind of girl, so I would venture to say no. But there will be memes. We can make memes for the challenge.
There'll be memes like
memes.
Awesome
Yay,
day.
Memes.
Yeah, and daily updates if you want, weekly updates, whatever you want to do. So it'll be a lot of fun. All right, let's move on to the show topic.
There is a show topic.
There is, and the show topic is how much inventory do you need for eBay? Now, I've been thinking about this question because this came up last night during one of the shows, and we were talking about a couple people actually, who had an awful lot of inventory versus what they had listed. So I started thinking about what does it look like to have enough inventory, right? And what does enough mean? You know, this is how my mind works on this stuff. Because to be honest, I've thought about it, but I probably haven't fleshed it out in black and white like I did today. So I wanted to talk about this for a moment in terms of how much do you need to have on hand, or how much do you need to buy in a particular period of time versus what your goals are and what your store totals are and things like that. So here's what we got to think about. All right, so for all you out there who've been wondering the answer to this question, how much inventory should you have? Here's what I came up with. Is it the perfect answer? Is it in a manual somewhere? Probably not, but it's kind of how I'm going to look at it going forward, and how I've basically looked at it in the past. I just didn't really maybe make it as formal as I'm about to say it. All right, let's assume something. We got to make an assumption here.
It's okay. It's okay.
We've got to make an assumption about how much you sell, okay? So a lot of people who sell on eBay sell at 1%. Now what that means is every day they sell about 1% of their inventory. And then I'm talking about over the course of, say, a year. You can't look at any one day or a week or even a month, really. It's just not enough time to really get good data. And if you sell less than that, that's fine. Maybe you have slower long tail items. That's fine. You could adjust. If you sell at a quicker rate than that, that's fine too. But let's start at 1% to keep the math really simple. All right. Now let's assume that you have 100 items in your store, right? 100 items. For all you playing along, that means you're going to sell 1%, which is one item every day, right? 1% of 100 is 1. That means at the end of 30 days, the end of an average month, you're going to have sold 30 items, about 30% of your inventory. It also means that theoretically, you would sell through your entire inventory in just over 3 months. 30 plus 30 plus 30 is 90 plus another 10. So basically in 100 days. Now, we know in the real world, it doesn't work exactly like that. You're going to sell through either faster or slower than that number for all kinds of reasons. Maybe the inventory you didn't sell is not as good. But some inventory might sell much quicker than 1% because it's really in demand, or you got a great price on it, or you do really good listings, or whatever the issue is, the hot market, who knows? All right, so here it is. So you're selling through a 1% every day. Here's my rule of thumb for you on how much inventory you should have. Okay, this is very simple. And I actually typed it out. If you want to maintain your inventory for a month, you're at 100 items and you're selling through 1%, and you want to maintain, you need to buy 30 items that month. You're going to sell 30, you're going to buy 30. So over the course of time, you should be roughly equal. 30 items a month is roughly 1 item a day. Now I know most of you buy it in chunks, right? But let's say you want to grow, because a lot of us want to grow our stores and make them bigger and do bigger volume. Now, the rule of thumb I would say you should take for this is, I actually wrote it out. If you want to expand, I would start out with buying twice your sell-through rate. So going back to our example, if you've got 100 items in your store and you want to grow your store and you're going to sell 30 items in a month, you need to buy 60 items. Now, why double? Well, first of all, it's really easy to figure out. It's really easy to figure out double 2 times something, right? It's just an easy number to figure. Second of all, it's going to increase the number of listings you have, but it's not going to quite increase it by double, or it's not going to quite increase double what you sold, believe it or not, because you're going to sell a few more now since you're increasing your listings. Basically, the rule I would start with is buy double what you are selling through in the course of a month. Now, there's a caveat to that. And this is where the example came in last night, and it got really confusing because somebody talked about a huge number. They talked about having a 10,000 item store, which is a big store on eBay, right? I think anyone would admit that's a big store. That's a lot of items, unless you've got quantity counts. But if you have 10,000 individual items, individual SKUs, that's a lot of items. That's a big eBay store. And they also talked about having 30,000 items. Now, if you think about my rule, if they have a 10,000 item store, they're going to sell 3,000 a month, which is, 1% sell through. They have 10 times as much as they're going to sell through. They can literally not buy anything for 10 months potentially and keep their store at that level. I would argue as you get bigger, that double rule probably needs to get less and less. And the reason is because it's going to cost you an enormous amount of capital to have, to buy a bigger and bigger chunk of inventory. Now, you're going to be making more because you're going to be selling more. But remember, guys, it's not only just the capital. You got to list more. You've got to photo more. You've got to store more. You've got to pack and ship more. You're going to be dealing with more customer questions. Like, everything about your business increases in its time commitment, its energy, its money you're going to need to run it. So I think that as you get larger, then you probably could shrink down from that double rule. So like when you're at 100 items and you want to go to increase and you're selling 30 a month, maybe you buy 60, no problem. But when you're at 1,000 items, I don't think you need to buy 2,000 a month to expand unless you have a way you figured out, I know exactly how and have the resources to list 2,000 items this month. Do it monthly, guys. It makes it so simple. You don't have to think about it too much. You say, all right, I'm going to sell 100 items this month, and I'm going to list 200. So by the end of next month, I should be roughly 100 more items. And that's very, very simple rule. And I know a lot of people are going to say, I've got this many, I got that many. The reason is this, guys. If you are tying up more and more capital in your inventory, you're not really efficiently using your business's capital. And we see this in the big business world all the time. We see like a big retailer will go out and make a big buy on, say, toys, for instance, at Christmas time. And for whatever reason, some of those toys don't sell. It costs them tremendous money. I mean, just tens and sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars. You're no different. It's not going to cost you hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's going to cost you. And if you put all that money into inventory and do not list it in a timely manner, you're wasting your capital, because you could be using that capital to turn things faster in items that you could get listed quicker. Maybe you could do quantity counts. Maybe you could do a different business model. You could shift and sell on Amazon, where it's easier to sort of build a larger store, a larger scale store quickly, because they warehouse it for you and ship it and pack it and all that good stuff. I just think that it's a good rule of thumb to start with twice whatever you're going to sell when you're thinking about expanding your business. And if you want to stay the same, which, you know, I don't really recommend that, because I think you run the risk of losing momentum when you do that. But if you want to just stay the same and you're happy with it, then just buy each month what you're going to sell that month. And it's just very, very simple. Now, some of you are going to say, well, how do I know what my sell-through rate is? It's really easy to figure out on eBay. You can pull down reports that show you, even if you're not tracking along with a spreadsheet or some other manner, you can pull down reports on eBay that will show you what items you've sold each month. And you can do that for basically back about 3 months. So you can get a rolling 90 days, and that'll give you an idea about what your sell-through is. Now, obviously, Christmas is a unique time of the year when you might see higher sell-through, depending on what your items are. But I would start at the 1% threshold and look and see what it is. And you can look and tell, and you can say, all right, my store has averaged about this many listings. There's ways to track that too if you want. You don't have to get super specific with it. You can kind of eyeball it. You can say, all right, beginning of the month, I had 300 items in my store. At the end of the month, I had 400 items. So I averaged roughly 350 items this month, roughly, right? That's the difference between those two, you know, and you may have listed a whole bunch at the end or a whole bunch at the beginning. I don't know, but it's somewhere to start. So I would start with that rule of thumb for inventory. And we actually have started, I've actually started kind of looking at that for my own business over the last, you know, several weeks and so on. And like for this month, for instance, I'm looking at what we've bought so far. We've actually, we've bought 67 items this month. Now we did buy a big slug of items right at the end of last month, but we bought 67 items. We've actually sold 88. So theoretically, we're losing items versus what we bought, but I'm projecting, you know, we're going to sell at 88 items. Here we are, January really 12th, because today's not over yet. You know, we're going to sell somewhere around 200 plus items this month. So to grow, we really need to buy 400. Mm-hmm. So we need, and we bought 67.
Does that count the 44 from?
It does. Okay. It does. So we really need to buy another 333 items this month. So
no problem.
Right. And that's not a crazy amount. I mean, we can do that. Like we almost bought that much in one trip back a couple months ago when we went to Raleigh. Mm-hmm. It was close to that. It was right at it. So we know we can do it. But now we have a goal, guys. We can go after, we can say, all right, we want to grow. We think we're going to sell somewhere around 200-ish items this month. So we're going to buy 400. And your capital should probably support that, assuming you're buying sort of the same items and the same amounts. Now, if you go off in a whole different direction and you say, you know, I've been selling t-shirts. I picked up the bins for 95 cents total cost. But next week, I want to start selling iPhones. Okay, that's a bigger capital investment, right? I mean, those are obviously going to be much higher dollar items. But I'm assuming here that we're assuming that you're staying sort of in the same niche that you were, and your cost of acquisition of all these items is going to be roughly the same going forward. And just use the 2-to-1 rule. You want to grow by twice as much as you're likely to sell. It should give you a good place to start. And you'll be able to tell really quickly, probably after 1 month, oh man, I sold 100 this month and I bought 200. Oh, but I didn't have time or the resources to get 200 listed. So now you can adjust. You can adjust for the next month. You can say, all right, I've got 50 extra that I didn't have listed. So I'll count those in as ones I'm going to list this month and count those towards next month's total. And this month, instead of buying 200, I'm going to buy 150 because I have 50 left over from the month before. It's really easy, guys. And it's a good place to start. And hopefully that all made sense. And I didn't even look at the questions. So I'm sure there's probably questions.
I think you started a math riot. You really did. Yeah, I don't even know where to start. Although somebody did say that, it depends on what you sell, and at the end of the month, once you've sold everything, then you're left with just about a pile of junk. And really, that's not true, because whatever you're still left with, you donate and you write it off. I mean, we no longer look at anything as a loss.
Right.
It's just a write-off.
And they may have been
no, it's a cost of doing business.
Cost of doing business. And they may have been talking about sometimes what you're left with in your store is slower moving merchandise. But that doesn't really matter, guys, because if you kind of look at your sell-through over time, it's going to take into account slower moving items, fast moving items, average moving items. I mean, it's going to take all that into account. You can figure it out. Like if your sell-through rate ends up being 0.75% a day, which it might at this time of year, might be a little slower after Christmas, for instance, you can take that into account. If you've got 100 items, instead of selling one per day, you're going to sell 7.75 of an item a day. And you multiply it times 30 and you come up with 22.5, I think. So you're going to sell about 23 items a month instead of 30. It's not that hard. It's not hard math. A spreadsheet or just a calculator, you can do it in 30 seconds or a minute. And it gets you started down the road of figuring out what you need for inventory. And you don't overbuy, guys. I mean, if you have 100 item store and you have 1,000 items you haven't listed, you've got all that capital you've tied up and it's doing nothing for you. Your money is not doing anything for you. You tied it up in all that inventory and it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. It's not making you any money back. And who knows when you'll get all that listed. You should just stop buying and list. Literally just stop buying. Don't buy another thing till you list all that, till you deal with it, you dispose of it. I think it's just so important for your business growth. And I know it is for ours. Like we are getting very adamant about the systems we're putting in place to make sure that as items come in, we're tracking through the process and they're going through much faster. Things are not going to sit at all. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I know you are. Well,
and redundancies. We're trying to create a system thinking for the future of the business. And so there'll be, some other people working. So we want to have a checks and balances already in place, a solid system where every phase of it is trackable.
Right.
I just put it back to the beginning when the comments started so you can.
Zerk said, but Prof, once you sell down, you have less, so you sell less. No, you're still listing. It doesn't stop that at all. You're still listing items. I'm not suggesting that you have 100 items listed and then you don't list anything else till the end of the month or the next month. I'm not suggesting that at all. You can still be listing and replacing what you did. I mean, it's going to take you a few weeks of kind of getting through the cycle to kind of keep things in the pipeline and start seeing these trends. But if you're selling, let's say you have 100 items and you're selling basically one a day. And at the end of the first week, you've sold 7 items. You could have been listing 1 item a day each day during that time. You could have listed 7 at the end of the week. You could have easily replaced those. So it doesn't stop you from listing and maintaining your number. Or if you're trying to grow and you have 100 items listed and you end up buying 200 to list, you now have theoretically 300 items in your inventory. You just have 200 of them you haven't listed now. So you're going to need to start listing, twice or 3 times as much to start building that list in total. I don't think it's really hard to do that, honestly. And as you sell down, you just list new things. I mean, that's what we all do, all the time. So
I brought it back to current. Krillin wants to know when we're going to hire somebody. Realistically, probably next month.
Yeah, we have to.
There's some things we had to do ahead of that.
Yeah.
Accountant wise.
Right. And there's some things to talk over with my accountant and so on, just to push that process along, because we kind of came up with a little bit of a different idea for, how we were going to have this person work and so on. So that's probably next month. Joe says, I have 700 items to list. Sourcing is much more fun. That may be true, Joe. I hear you. The thrill of the hunt. But for me, see, this is what's great about us. Like, I think you're a little more about the thrill of the hunt than me.
Yeah.
And I'm more about the thrill of the sale than the thrill of the hunt. I'm about the thrill of the sale. I love it when it's gone, and I love it when it turns into money. So to me, that's the thrill. So, and I realize there's steps along that process. You gotta have the hunt. You gotta acquire. You've got to bring it in. You got to check it over. You got to photograph it, list it, all these good things. But it's all part of it. So.
Yeah, and the conversation kind of went really quick in the chat. So if you had a question, or if you have a question, type a bunch of question marks before it, and then type the question, or just type the word question in all caps, and we'll try to.
Yeah, I'm sure we missed
some. Yeah, we did.
I was talking forever.
You did. You just went on and on and on.
I've been doing that lately.
It involves math, but did you sort of bring it all around and summarize it, and so that like I could understand it?
Yes, I tried. Chrissy says, I've been in business for almost a year now. I have a huge stockpile. I feel so bad, but I'm just so happy when I'm sourcing. Don't feel bad. It's not about, there's no reason to bring emotion into it, honestly. But my advice to you, Chrissy, would be stop sourcing. Put yourself on a 30-day diet of sourcing. No sourcing for 30 days until you start getting a handle on that listing. And maybe 30 days is long enough, not long enough. I don't know. But start with that. And just source, or excuse me, just list, what you have, and don't source anything else for 30 days. I don't care. Deal with what you've got. Even if you need to donate some of it back or dispose of it locally, deal with what you have. And then maybe you can start thinking about sourcing again.
Well, and I would ask the question, why are you doing it? Like, is it just for the adrenaline rush of the hunt, like finding that good deal, or are you in it to make some money? Because if you want to make money, this death pile over here, or all these things that in good conscience you bought and you're going to sell and you're all pumped, and then they just sit there, and I get that there are some people, I'm related to one that, it's all about the getting a good deal.
Sure.
But then you end up with a warehouse full of crap that, what are you going to do with it?
Because I don't think we're agreeing on what the definition of a good deal is. A good deal to me means you buy something at a low enough price that you can make a good profit on it when you sell it. That's a good deal in my book. A good deal is not just buying something at a low price. That's just part of the equation. That's just part of it. And in between the buying at a low price and selling to make a good profit, there's some work. So to me, like, to get to the good deal part, which is the selling at a good profit, I've got to buy at a low enough price, and I got to do the work in between and then sell it.
What do you always say, that you make your money when you buy it?
Sure. You make money when you buy it, not when you sell. Just like in real estate, there's so many things are like that in life, right? You make money when you buy it, but you don't actually actualize the money until you sell it. So let's be clear.
Yeah.
But you got to do the work. So, all right. So let's, there's lots of questions here, guys. And thank you for that. 91 people too, man, that's pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming out, and I would appreciate it if you're liking the content. What should they do, Karin? You get one more.
Smash the like button. I'm going to come up with a new voice, but I kind of like the pirate meets Lollipop Guild meets whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know what that voice is. It's a little freaky, but I like it. All right, so let me.
That is wrong.
I'll share with you guys how we've been doing here lately, and a couple other things. We'll do an update on the 100 listings too. By the way, we haven't done that in a while, so let me show you the spreadsheet.
Finally up to date with my photos, correct?
Yes, her photos are up to date. Yeah, you've taken 1,670 photos. I didn't realize that. But we have had kind of average sales lately, guys. These last 6-7 days, have been okay. Nothing great. $1,244 these last 7 days, which is okay. or 6 days actually. 7 days, it would be $13.90 is a total. So, you know, jeans have been okay. This is just jean sales, by the way. We are starting to move some of our tops, some of our bins items, some of our other things that we've been selling. And look out, we might even start some shoes. Who knows? But it's going to be fun.
Oh, yes, shoes. That's right.
Yeah, you can talk about that if you want. When we come back, we'll be done just a second. By the month for the jeans, guys, only 847 listings, so we definitely have an opportunity there. We just keep selling down. Like, I'm surprised at the sell-through lately. It's like not a lot of money, but it's a lot of sell-through. So people are buying the bargain price jeans, basically the ones at the lower end of my price structure. So I've got to keep that in mind and make sure that I'm really pushing through the other brands as well, the other higher dollar ones as well. Probably about a net of 818 on jeans so far this month, which is okay. The net percentage is still good at 41. That's been holding right around that 40% for the last 6 months. So that seems to be a decent number for me. I'm going to work on ways, guys, to push up my average sale prices here. Let me show you the 100 listings real quickly. We have sold 54 of the 100 listing items we did back on November 16th. So it's been almost 2 months. We've sold almost one per day. There's your 1% sell-through. So interestingly enough.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and this just sits here and runs, so it's not a big deal to keep track of. But $1,300, $4,700 from that day's work, which is pretty good, I think. So, you know, we'll see how those keep selling. I anticipate that we'll push out another probably 10 of those over the next 30 days or so. So we'll just see. All right. All right, and we are back. Okay, so what other do we miss any other questions? Or anything?
We always do. You can go through. And yes, we did not coordinate our outfits today.
Oh, that's funny. We are kind of both green.
We are green, and it is not St. Patrick's Day. It's just green shirt day.
I know, right? So that's kind of funny. Tim Young, he has several videos on his inventory system. That is true, Tim.
Somebody asked about how do you do your inventory.
Yeah, there are some inventory videos here on the channel. So look in the how-to section, Tim. I believe they're in that section. And you will find a couple that explain how I set it up. And it's not that complicated. It actually works pretty well. And we're going to have to be doing different things. Carmen wants to start selling some shoes.
I do, and I've already bought some. I would play show and tell, but it's in my area, in my small corner of the house.
Every corner of the house is hers, all 4 of them. Let's be clear. But
I don't know what that means.
Nice Hannah Montana mug there. That's nice.
My plug, I talk about my Hannah Montana mug all the time.
Careful, we'll get a copyright violation if you start seeing Party in the USA or something. Ooh, I just went way back there.
I could do it.
Anyway, we will.
Wrecking ball.
Don't. We're gonna get a violation. It won't surprise me as dumb as it
I can't
says.
sing Wrecking Ball. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, that was when she was Miley, not Hannah anymore, right?
Oh, good point. Oh man.
Exactly.
That's like Mac Daddy.
It's not. It's not at all. So, all right.
So anyway.
But yeah, we are going to be looking to expand a little bit into shoes, guys, only because it's a natural niche for us to explore because we're already at bin stores. We're already, I didn't tell them about the bins thing I figured out, right?
I think they've had a lot of math today.
It's not math. It
kind of is math.
It's not really math. So I figured out the other day, guys, and we're trying to figure out, I think I might have mentioned this on maybe one of the shows, was that if we, I hope I didn't just kill the feed. Felt like I did there for a minute. Nope, it didn't. I figured out the other day that if we could source enough jeans, just jeans.
Oh yeah, you talked about it on the video. I remember.
Yes, just jeans to meet our sourcing goals every month, then I would be able to save about $1,200 if I could do it just at the bins, just at the 6 bins we have that are basically within driving distance of us. We don't know that we can do it, but we realize that if we can do that, that's $1,200 a month. I mean, that's huge that we save on sourcing cost. Huge. So we're going to give that a shot. I think we said next week, right? We were going to make our first run.
We're going to try to go on Monday.
Yeah, we're going to try to hit 2 bins on Monday. They're a decent amount of miles apart and from us, but definitely all doable within a day. We could even hit 3. for feeling really industrious. But we're going to try to hit 2 of the 3 bins that are sort of north of us, or maybe we'll go south. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
So how many do we have within?
6.
Yeah, and that's not only in, because Krillin said 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not only in North Carolina. That's North Carolina, South Carolina, right?
Right. There's some in North Carolina and South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, man, that just speaks to, like, you know, the sourcing issue we were talking about a moment ago with inventory. Like, if you want to be able to, you know, really source really well, you've got to continually be finding new resources. So we're going to try to hit 2 of the bins, maybe 3. We might shoot a video or 2. So if I cannot get a copyright violation again for the bins video, and see if we can get them, because $1,200 a month in save sourcing, that's huge. I mean, that's like 14,000 bucks a year, you know, so that is just too little to turn down. And that's $14,000 we could put right in our pocket and still get what we've been getting. We think we can get 360 jeans a month out of those 6 bins. So that's going to be our goal. We're going to see how many we get in these first 3. So I guess we would need to get in the first 360, we would need to get, 30 at each one. Mm-hmm. And plus other items. So we're going to look at shoes. We're going to look at some, you know, just, you know, anything that sticks out in terms of a top and so on. And we'll see how that goes. We'll try to, like I said, we'll try to make a video, maybe do a little thrifting video for you guys next week if we can, because we haven't done one of those in a while, I guess. Mm-hmm. Well, we did the one to the bins back a month or so ago.
The show and tell one?
Right. The show and tell one, right.
That was just we just did one like a week or 2 ago, right?
Yeah.
Because it was a second bins trip.
Yeah.
And Chris asked about the bins in Charleston. Funny you ask, Chris, because Tiffany's going to speak to that, because she goes to the Charleston bins often.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, she just went recently, and a friend of hers got her phone pickpocketed out of her pocket. So that's
theft at the bins.
That's not a vote in favor of that particular store, or maybe it's more an endorsement to keep your friends close and your iPhone closer, you know. But I mean, seriously, don't put it's easy stuff, right? You put your purse in the trunk and you go in with just the bare necessities. If you got to have your phone to look things up, put it in a front pocket, girls.
Yes.
I mean, you just be smart, especially if you're going to a new place that you don't know.
Right.
But so I think that our plan is with the bins is we're going to try to hit them pretty soon, right?
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, but I mean to go to all of them. Like, we're not going to string it out or whatever.
Yeah, because we need to buy 330 more items this month.
And anyway, so we're going to need to go and make those trips so that we get it done. So we may sort of tilt the plan a little bit, and we may like have to do a lot of sourcing and then catch up on the other stuff on the other end of it, instead of how we compartmentalize our week and we say, okay, today we're going to list this many and tomorrow we're going to do this and that. We might have to adjust.
And we're not that far from having our sourcing caught up, honestly.
No, like
our inventory. Yeah.
Right. No, we're good.
Yeah. So that's our strategy next week. We will definitely hit some bin stores, see what happens there. Try to take a little video. I don't know what to expect in these other ones. The one up in Winston-Salem, I think is going to be pretty good. There's another one that's west of there, back down I-40. I'm not sure how good that one will be. But, you know, we're going to hit them. And there's some other thrift stores and things around them we can hit. So it's not like, you know, if we go to one, it's just horrible. Maybe we'll just hit one store while we're there. So we'll make up some volume.
Well, and we're not far from yard sale season, and we're not far from, you know, we have a couple of estate sales we'll run this time of year, but that'll start up again.
Right.
That's what we're going to talk about today.
What?
Or at one point, we're going to talk about how you should keep checking. Okay, so this was the idea that's not on the agenda because we have a little bit of time, right?
Yep.
Like a minute. Okay, so we discovered a thrift store just open, not far from here.
Yeah.
And it's been open apparently since August. And the reason we didn't know is because it was in an area of town where literally the entire road had been closed for road work.
Right.
So they took a hit for the first 3 months that they were open. No one could get to them and no one knew they were there. And so we had a conversation with, you know, we sort of get comfortable in our geography, in the way we do things, and we don't change it. So my point would be that every now and then, you know,
Yeah.
if you're going to the same stores over and over again, it wouldn't hurt to, you know, search. If you're using your phone, search thrift stores in your area. Like do another as if you're starting anew to see what's out there. You know, and we still haven't, we have a store that just opened not far from here, where it's one of those mega Amazon return stores. Like it's this mega thrift where all these Amazon returns go to die or whatever. But anyway,
Yeah.
we wanted to go there too, and we haven't been there yet. So, you know,
we've got opportunities. We're lucky we live in a part of the country where there is plentiful supply
yes,
and opportunities.
yes,
But we still got to go do them.
hmm
You know, but we're not short of sourcing opportunities, but we definitely want to source smart, source a little more diverse, and source cheaper, because those are all things that we recognize. Those are all part of the business strategy for this year to lower the cost of our acquisition of our sourcing items, the items we source, and raise our average sale price, which seems counterintuitive, but it's not counterintuitive at all. So we're definitely going to be doing that. We're still going to have a big focus on jeans. Obviously, that's going to be part of the big part of the mix because we know it. We've got so much information there. We're much better shoppers at it than we were. We've been finding some, you know, some home run brands like, you know, that Jap Rag brand I found the other day. That was crazy.
Oh, if that were closer, I would grab that. Did we talk about
Yeah,
that?
and we found a Dolce & Gabbana men's pair of jeans, which they sell for ridiculous money new, and even used, it'll probably sell for 50, 60 bucks, you know.
The Jap rags were good.
The Jap
You know,
rags were good too.
I found a measly pair of mechs that were immaculate, but then he comes
Mechs
up
are
with
good.
this. This particular pair is awesome. Thank you very much.
They are
But then he
awesome. I love
comes
mech.
with, oh, I've never seen this before. What's this? And what's funny is at this particular new thrift store, they priced them at their lowest price point for jeans.
Yep.
And it was because we think they didn't.
They thought it was like just a random jean. Like they had, what was, they had priced higher. It was, I was laughing about.
Moronas or something. Like it was somebody's store brand.
Yeah,
what was it?
They had like Target brand Morona. Well, actually they had Arizona used jeans for like $8. And here's this Japanese
for
brand
5, yeah.
made in Japan from a Japanese designer, which by the way, there's a tip for you guys. Jean tip. If it's made in Japan, pick it up and look it up. So
yeah.
chances are it's worth something. Because there just aren't a lot.
And there are a couple that are limited runs and limited editions too.
Right.
It would behoove you to grab all the thingies in that instance and scoop that up. And hey, before I forget, Stone said something about, and we can talk about that later, but he said something about it would be interesting if you talked about your business minus the clothes part of it.
Yeah. Well, I think we kind of do, but I get what you're saying, Stone. So,
well, because a lot of people come on and that's just what they go, that's their go-to, right?
Right.
And we talk a lot about, you know, find your niche, find your sweet spot, and go from there. So,
yeah, absolutely. So lots of great comments in the thread today. So, well, listen, guys, we are getting close to the top of the hour, so we're going to wrap this up here in a moment. Don't forget, we're going to put a link. I'm going to say this right at the end too. This is like the third time we said it. We're going to put a link to the new Rebels of Reselling Facebook group we just started.
Dun, da, da.
So we will put a link to that in the description of this video as soon as it processes, and you guys can go check it out if you want. Join the community. I know people have been asking about, hey, can we have a way we can connect when it's not a show and we're not on YouTube? And I 100% agree with that. So we decided to come up with a group. So that'll be fun. And we'll learn together. I think it'll be pretty cool. So check that out. We'll have the link up in, just shortly. I need to let the video process for a minute though, because it'll do weird things if I don't sometimes.
And this was our summary video, right? Because it's been a whirlwind of a week for you.
Yes.
Like he did like 20 live shows or something crazy like that. I would say never again, but the calendar just sort of fell how it did, and that's just how it worked out.
It was fun.
And it was a phenomenal week. We met lots of really cool people.
Yep.
That interview with Rakin, I meant to tell you, Steve, I don't know if he's still on. He said hi earlier, by the way.
I think I saw that, yeah.
But that interview was amazing. Like, it was so different. Like, and I have a whole new respect for him. Like, I feel like I know him on a different, I mean, you guys have been friends for a while, but I feel like I know him on a different level, and mad respect for him for just being, he puts it all out there.
He's a good guy.
And love him or hate him, he's a real deal. So that was very cool.
I love Rakin. He's just, he's a great guy to learn from and, you know, to follow. So always had good interaction with him. All right, so Krillin, yes, Yanks are allowed in Rebels of Reselling. It's not that kind of rebel. All right, so I think that's going to do it for now, guys. We're at the top of the hour. So if you've got a comment or you got a question after you're watching this video, after it's this live part, leave it down below. We'll try to answer it if we can. And
you can always email us, and you'll soon be able to Facebook us. I'm so excited.
I know.
And if you have any ideas or if you want to be a part of the Connect series, you know, send us an email. Because we're always looking for people to put on and to, you know, put the spotlight on you. And
I'm still getting emails for that, guys. People are still hitting me with emails saying, "Hey, can I be on?" So I am in the process of getting the next 2 guests and coordinating it all. So I usually do it here at the end of the week. I usually kind of wait till then to see how it all shakes out and make sure we can connect beforehand to make sure technology works okay. So, all right. Well, Karin, what should they do if they enjoyed the content to let us know and YouTube know that you did in fact enjoy what you saw and heard?
Smash that like button.
We got 3 in today. That's amazing. So
I had to do that. I'll have a new voice next time. When will we be on?
I don't know.
Again?
We'll be on
Monday.
Monday. Yeah, Monday for sure at 8. So
no, me.
Maybe even, huh?
Me. When will I be here with you?
I don't know. Maybe Monday afternoon.
Okay.
So. All right, we'll figure that out. So, all right, guys, well, have a great weekend.
Have an awesome weekend. List.
List, sell,
Source.
Think, and do.
No. Smile.
All right.
It was great to see you guys. Hope you have an awesome weekend.
All right, I think that's going to do it. So I'm Prof Sales.
I'm Karin.
Saying good
sales to you.